Hi everyone, welcome to episode 20 of the Arieknits podcast. My name is Ariel, and this is a video podcast where I talk about pretty much all things knitting. So knitting things like things that I am currently knitting, so my works in progress, what I finished knitting, what I plan on knitting. I also sometimes crochet and sew, so those projects will also show up in here to talk about when I do have them. And yeah, just all things about yarn as well, because I love getting yarn so that I can knit with it. So yeah, so that's this video podcast. I'm so happy that you are here today, and I have a lot of things to talk about this week, or that I've worked on this week, so I'll just get started now with what I am wearing today. So I am wearing, this is also one of my finished objects for this week. I'm really glad that I finished it, and this is the Serein Sweater by Caidree, and for the yarn I used Woolberry Fiber Co. in the base Berry Merino and Berry Suri held together, both in the colorway Bouquet, which is from the Garden Walk collection. So I will stand up so you can see more of this sweater, and it has a rolled hem on the body and the sleeves, and also on the kind of like turtleneck collar here. And I love the fit on this. The sleeves, if I kind of just hold my hands out like this, they hit right about like above where my pinky finger is. And yeah, and then you can see the raglan here, and it's just all really cozy. And let's see, so I knit the size extra small, and I used US 6 needles, and I have, I just measured this, but I forgot to write it down in my notes. I have 37 inches on the circumference of this sweater, and that would give me 6 inches of positive ease. So this is what 6 inches of positive ease looks like on me. And I will say, so I believe that my final measurements for this sweater are slightly larger than the pattern states, because my gauge started to get a little big. So, but I actually really like how this sweater came out, like the fit. I wanted something that would be really easy to put over whatever I'm wearing. So like if I'm already wearing like a t-shirt or a tank top, I want something to fit over that really easily and not feel super tight. And so I think that this achieves that. And I'm really liking the drape of this neck here. I was kind of worried that it was going to drape kind of weirdly, but I actually like how it looks. It looks pretty natural. I guess I was kind of worried that it would be stiff or something, but I really like how that looks and feels so far. I also was wondering, I've never made a turtleneck with Suri yarn before, and so since the other ones I have do kind of irritate my neck, I was wondering if Suri, even though it is a lot softer everywhere else on me, I've realized that my neck is pretty sensitive, and so I was curious to see how this would feel. So far it feels okay. I haven't worn this like all day yet, but so far it feels fine, and so I'm really happy about that. And what else? Yeah, so I mentioned that the sleeves are also, lately my sweaters have been, the sleeves are kind of right where my wrist is, but these ones are extra long, and I'm also actually really happy with that, because I do, especially when I'm cold, I like to pull my sleeves over my hands and just kind of hold it like this, especially if I'm like outside and cold. I kind of prefer to do this method than to wear mittens or gloves. So I do like that longer sleeves kind of make things feel a bit more cozy to me, at least. And what else? So I also really like this color. I don't know if I have like a pink, like an all pink sweater, which is surprising. I'm just trying to think in my head like what sweaters I have. I've knitted so many sweaters, but I don't know if I have one that's just like fully pink. And I mean, I probably do, I just can't think of it right now, but I just love that this can be my cozy all pink sweater. And I think the color just is really perfect. It's light pink, but not kind of like super flashy, you know? It just looks really nice and sophisticated, I think. And so it came out exactly the way that I was hoping it would. And that always feels good when you knit a sweater, or when you knit anything, really. So again, just really happy. I think last week, I think I showed this on my podcast, and I'm trying to remember where I was. I think I finished one sleeve last week, and then after I filmed last week's video, I just was like, I'm already on a roll with this, so I'm just gonna finish the other sleeve. And I think because the sleeves are longer than I have been making them, and they are a bit more roomy, like they're not big, but they are, you know, comfortably roomy, that the sleeves felt like they took a really long time to knit, but I powered through and got them done, and I am just really glad that I have this as a finished object and I can wear it now. So yeah, that was honestly, I spent most of my time this past week finishing this sweater because I wanted to get it done. And I wanted to get it done because there were a couple projects I wanted to cast on this week, and so I do have a lot of projects, like works in progress, so I felt better about finishing something while I casted on new things. So anyway, this is the Serein sweater. I'm really happy with it. I really like the fit and how it came out. I like my yarn choice and the Suri, and it's really cozy. And looking forward to wearing it some more while it's still cold here. So yeah, so that is what I'm wearing and one of my finished objects. And I actually also have another finished object, and this is a test knit for Sari Nordlund. This is the Soul Sister scarf, and this was a pretty quick knit because even though it's a scarf, I did make the smaller size, so it is thinner, like it's not a really wide scarf. And I finally finished it. It's about this length. I also blocked it, so now it's all like actually done, and it uses this puff stitch which looks like hearts, and so it makes it look really cute. And the yarn I used for this is I used two yarns. So one is Woolberry Fiber Co. Berry Suri in the colorway I'd Like a Life, and I held it with a fingering weight yarn that I dyed with avocados, so it's a light peachy kind of tan pink color. So I held those together, and that's what came out of that, and I really like how it came out. I love that the Suri, variegated Suri colorway kind of shows through with just the slight darker pink colors and the yellow, golden yellow spots as well. And I think it just adds a lot of dimension to this, and it's honestly, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed making this, because it is, I also don't know if I've made a scarf really before, so this might be kind of like one of my first knitted scarves. Well, I've knitted a scarf like when I first knitted when I was in elementary school, but that was a while ago, so ever since, you know, when I started knitting again, I think this might be my first scarf I knitted. So yeah, and yeah, so as I mentioned, I made size 1. There is size 2 in the same pattern. It's wider and also a little bit longer. And yeah, I have a turtleneck on, so it kind of makes this a bit harder to show maybe, but I did wear this out already. I just went like to the market and wore it out, but it's so cute. Like if you wear it like this, it's so cute and really easy to put on. And I also was like, I'm not a scarf wearer, but now that I have something really cute, like it makes me want to wear a scarf. So just like with those gloves that I made the other, like, few weeks ago, never thought about knitting them. I knitted them and I just love wearing them. Same with my Manhattan hat beanie. Like, I am not really a beanie person, but that beanie made me want to wear it, and I still wear it any chance I get because I just love wearing it and it's so cute. And so I think this scarf is kind of doing the same thing for me. I now want to make all the scarves, so I definitely will be making more of this pattern in the future. I'll probably make size 2 next, but this size 1 is so cute. It's so cute. I really like that the edging, like the ends have like that slanted look to it, or finish. It just kind of like adds that extra bit of cuteness to it. So yeah, it's a little hot to kind of just keep that on inside, but again, Soul Sister scarf. I believe that Sari wants to release the pattern on Valentine's Day, which is coming up, so keep an eye out for this. I think it's going to be a really, really popular pattern, and it's just really cute. Yay! Okay, and so those are my 2 finished objects, the scarf and my sweater, and I love them so much. They will be getting a lot of wear out of me, and let's move on to my works in progress, because I have a lot of things that I kind of touched on here and there this week, and so there's some things that I've already shown in the past, so I'll just show some progress that I've made on them, and also 2 new projects that I casted on. Oh my goodness, there's so many projects that I want to cast on. Okay, so first off, I want to show my Yolade shawl. So let me just get that here. Okay, so this is my Yolade shawl. The pattern's by Emily Curtis, Emily Curt on Instagram, and here's the progress I've made. So I finally reached, I think last week, I finally started adding the purple color, my 3rd color, into this shawl. And the way that, so I am trying to fade in these colors in a way where, so I will do the solid color first, so just like the color by itself, and then I will work the 2 color brioche with that 1st color plus the 2nd color, and then move on to just using the 2nd color, which is here, and then again kind of fade in the next color by doing the 2 color at a time. And I finished that section with the 2nd color and the 3rd color, and now I am onto the section where I'm just working with the 3rd color, which is this dark purple color. And I think it's looking really good. And every time I work on this, like, as soon as I finish a section, I'm just like, okay, how many more sections do I need to knit before I can move on to the next color? And it's just, I think looking really, really pretty. And for the colors, I am using Explore Knits and Fibers Denali sock in the 4 variegated winter solstice colors. So I started off with the more white color, which is Petrichor, then the orangey color, which is Apricity, and the purple one right now is Evenfall, and then once I'm done with this one, my last and 4th color will be Midwinter. And I am just loving the brioche knitting on this. This is the first time I think I am knitting brioche. I think I've done like half brioche or something before, but I don't know if I've knitted something with like full brioche or like real brioche. So it's going to be such a squishy shawl that I'm going to want to wear all the time. And yeah, so this is what one side looks like, and then I'll flip it to the other side because the colors do look different depending on what side you're looking at. So this side looks less like a fade because trying to kind of spread it out. So like the section here where I'm working 2 colors at a time on this side, the second color is kind of like the main color, like the knitted stitches and not like the in-between purl looking stitches. And so it kind of just shows, you can't really see, you know what I mean? Like you can't really see that first color on this side, and same with this section here. But on the other side, because the main color, when I'm fading in, the next color is still like the knit stitches, it's the purl stitches in between that kind of fade in, if you know what I mean, and if that makes sense. So I prefer this side. Like this side is more of the kind of look that I'm going for. But, you know, of course, either side, the colors are gorgeous. So both sides look great. But yeah, I think as far as the actual fading goes, this side is kind of what I was looking for or trying to create. So yeah, I love these colors so much. And what I'm really excited about too is that after I've worked, so I'm done with colors 1 and 2, but I still have some left over of that yarn, so I can use that yarn again in another smaller project. So that also makes me happy because you know, even if they all worked to make this one project, like use it all, which would still be fine, like it's like, ooh, I can also see how these colors look in something else as well. So that's also exciting. And yeah, I just keep looking at this and just really loving how it's turning out. And yeah, the rows now though are getting much longer. So each row is taking a bit of time, but the one thing that keeps me going, I think what's really nice is because you kind of keep changing colors, or well, you don't have to use different colors to make this shawl, but if you do use different colors to make the shawl, what kind of keeps you going, or at least what helps keep me going, is knowing that I have like another color to incorporate at some point, and just looking forward to working on those sections. So that's been really helpful. And the brioche knitting is kind of relaxing to me. I know it might feel like it takes longer to knit because you're kind of knitting, I guess are knitting like twice the amount of rows to get like one row, kind of, or you know, when you're counting it. But to me, it hasn't really bothered me with this project. Like it just feels like, you know, it's not as, what's the word? Like it's not as mindless as knitting stockinette, for example, but so it still is kind of involved, but it's not so involved where I feel like, you know, I need to like stare at my computer screen. Like it's not like I'm working on a chart, like something charted. So there's still some interest, but still being pretty kind of repetitive in the way that it feels relaxing. At least to me, that's how it feels like. So this has been enjoyable to work on, and of course I will continue to work on this throughout the week until I'm done. I don't think I'll be done. So I've mentioned it, I think the first time that this is what my third color looks like in its cake form. But yeah, I think the first time I mentioned this on one of the videos is that I want to finish making this by the beginning of March, because Explorer Knits will be going to La Mercerie, which is the yarn shop on Bainbridge Island, in the beginning of March at some point, and so I thought it would be really cool to bring this there because I'm using Explorer Knits yarn for it. And also Emily Curtis, it is her pattern that I am making as well, so I thought that would be really cool to bring with me. And so my goal still is, and I think I will make that kind of like deadline that I'm making for myself to finish this. So yeah, long story short, I want to finish this by the beginning of March, and I think I am on progress for that. Yay! Okay, so that is my first work in progress. I wanted to just show more progress because I've added more of that third color, so, and it's looking really, really good. Okay, now since we're still on the shawl, I think I've found more patterns of shawls that I want to make, and so this is going to be the year of shawls, I think. So anyway, so that's transitioning over to my next work in progress, which is another shawl, which I'm also really enjoying working on. This is the Lofi shawl by Bridget, BZB Knits on Instagram, and the yarn I am using is Woolberry Fiber Co. in the Berry Natural base. It's a fingering weight base in the colorway Hello Autumn. And yeah, so I mean, I've just continued to make progress on this throughout the week. I think I might have done this much more throughout the week. And I am planning on doing size 2, but pretty much I'll just keep working on this until I use up the 3 skeins of yarn I have for this. And I am using US 2 size needles. And it is just looking really good. And again, it's one of the knits that it is so relaxing to work on, and I don't feel stressed working on this at all. It has those really nice, like, I am on one of the garter stitch sections right now, and garter stitch just is, I don't know, it's been really kind of a thing lately. So I've actually been enjoying working on garter stitch, and especially working garter stitch flat means you're knitting every single row, so that's been really nice. And there's enough interest working on this shawl because of the section where it has this broken garter rib stitch, which I also think looks really cute. And so yeah, this shawl is just going to end up being really massive. I think right now I'm probably not even halfway done with my first skein yet, so we've got still a long ways to go, but I'm pretty sure that this, like, there won't be a week that I don't work on this. I think, like, it's something that when I just want to kind of work on something and not have to look at a pattern, because I've already kind of memorized what that pattern is for this, I can just pick it up and work on a few rows here and there throughout the week, and that's been super nice to do. So yeah, so just again showing some progress on this, and we'll just continue to show progress probably every week on this as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I think this one's going to be a massive shawl, and I'm really excited for that. I cannot wait to have a big shawl that I can wrap around that is in this Berry Natural base as well, because the Berry Natural base, as I've said already kind of a lot, so I hope it's not annoying to hear, but it is so soft that it's just surprising that it's a non-superwash base, but it's so gorgeous. Okay, so that is number 2, and then I have another, okay, so my next one I want to show is one that I have not worked on for a couple weeks, I think, and I'm bringing it back, starting working on it again, and I've made, I think, some pretty good progress. So this is the Kelly Crewneck pattern by Alexi, 2 of 1s. Here it is, and I am using for the yarn Sewrella yarn in the classic sport base in the colorway Jazz in the Park, which is a variegated color, has some green, brown, blue, and pink in there. And so I have finally finished the body pretty much. So it has worked. It has worked flat, I guess, but yeah, because you can work crochet in the round, right? So this is worked flat, so you work on the back all the way up to the shoulders and down the front, and then you add, so I've finished the body, and then now I am working on doing the ribbed hem. So I did the ribbed hem on the front, and now I am just working on adding that ribbed hem to the bottom here. So yeah, so I think I've made good progress. Almost like fully done with the body, and then after that is just working on sleeves and then doing the collar. And so this is another project, like sweater, I really want to get done soon. I'm kind of hoping that, well, we'll see. I'm because this has been on one of my works in progress for a while now. Like, it hasn't been that long, but it has been, it's one of those things where it's like, if I worked on it at some kind of a regular cadence throughout the weeks, that it probably could be done already. And so I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, let's just continue to work on it and not just leave it on the side. Let's continue to work on it until you're done. So this may be a finished object somewhat soon. Crochet takes me a lot longer to do, and also I did take a break on crocheting for a little bit because it was kind of like irritating my wrist and my hands. And so I've slowly, you know, started, when I picked this back up, I slowly got into it, and so now it's fine. I think I've got a rhythm, and I'm feeling good about it. So yeah, let's see, what else? This is the size extra small, and I am using a 3.75 millimeter or F size crochet hook to make this. So that is something that I am planning on just making sure I get work on this done. If not every day, for sure at least at some point every week, because I would like to have this as a finished object soon. And of course, mostly because I would like to cast on more things. And so every time I cast off something and finish something, I feel like for me that's kind of a permission to be like, okay, you finished something, so it's okay to cast on something new. Although I don't always follow that, because whenever I feel like casting on, I decide to just cast on anyway. But yeah, this is the Kelly Crewneck, and I'm working on it. It's getting there. We're getting somewhere. Okay, now the last two works in progress I have to share are new cast-ons this week, which I think is okay because I finished, what did I finish last week? Oh, I finished the Aurelia pullover last week, I think. Yes? Yeah. And then this week I finished this sweater, and so I finished 2 sweaters and I cast on 2 new sweaters. So these are ones that I think, actually, one of them I have said as part of my plans is something I wanted to make, and I finally casted it on. And the other one, I don't know if I said I was going, I don't know if I've mentioned it. So let me start with the one that I did mention. So this is the Double Date Sweater by Winter's Weather Knits. And it is, I did not know that it is a bottom-up sweater, but it is bottom-up sweater. So this is the start. This is what I have so far. And I'm using 4 different yarns for this. So let me just bring them here. So it's kind of all like loose already. So the first one and the main color that I'm using for this sweater is this. All 4 of these colors were from the Sewrella Celebration yarn collection. It was her last like mini collection of 2022. And let me see. Okay, so all of them I got in the Cashmere DK base. And so this first one, my main color is Napa. And this is kind of the speckled yarn. Oh, sorry, it doesn't look really pretty. Like the colorway is pretty, but it's kind of all, it's not super tangled, but it's all kind of loose here. But it is a kind of white plain base with speckles of the purple and the green. And yeah, so I thought that this would be a really great, like it's not heavily variegated, it's a nice kind of, I felt like it's not a tonal, but it felt like it would be a good main color to pair with 3 of the tonals, which I have here. And so this darker green is wine bottle green. This golden green kind of color is golden green. Does that word make sense? This one is the last glass, and then this purple is somm. And so together I thought this would be really great as the main color and then the 3 stripes for the sweater. And so I did knit up to the point where I did use all 3 of the stripes so that I could see what it looks like. And yeah, I was really curious to see how this would look in the camera today, because in person I got a little worried that maybe my main color was a bit too variegated, but I think it looks okay. It is definitely, this color palette is kind of like not really my color palette. Like I'm definitely more of a pink person, and this has like no pink. Like I do like purple, but yeah, it's definitely a different color palette than something I think I would, like I chose this yarn, but I mean, because I think that like the colors work really well together, but again, yeah, it's just a different color palette. So I'm just really interested to see how this all works up and looks all together in the end, like once it's like fully, maybe like once I get more of the body done, just to see how it looks and to maybe kind of put it on to see how it looks on me. But it has been really cool to work on this. Like the stitches, sorry, I keep like holding it and like moving it around, so I'll try and stop and just pause it here. I really like how these stripes are worked. Like that was another thing about this pattern, was I was really curious to see how this stitch design like stripe was made, and so I think it's really clever and a lot easier than I thought it would be, and just the way it looks. And so I'm really happy to have kind of like learned something new as well. And I will say that the cast on for this was a tubular cast on, and I've done it a couple times, and it is, while I like the end result, like I like tubular cast-offs, I like tubular bind-offs, but as far as like a tubular cast-on, the previous times I've done it, they were so finicky and I had to redo it so many times. I think this time I only had to redo it once. It's a lot of stitches, but I think it turned out okay. And I do like the look of it, so I just tried my best on it. I think I've gotten better, so maybe it'll be my preferred cast on for things now, but it's just, when the stitches get all like twisted around, like after you cast on so many stitches, I just don't know which way is the right way for the stitch. Like I don't know, yeah, I just don't know which is the right way, and I think that's the only thing that really bothers me about this cast on method. But I like the end result of having a tubular cast on, so this was good practice for me to do that, and I think it looks fine. And so yeah, that was just the one thing I was like, oh, do I just do a long tail cast on just because, or should I really just try and do the tubular cast on, because I know that I will like the look of it, and I do, and I'm glad that I stuck with that. So yeah, this is how much I have so far, and now I'm glad that I can see how those colors look together, and I think that they look really nice, and you can actually see, you know, the stripes, even though the main color is a bit of a variegated kind of color, they do stand out, and so I'm really happy with that. And so that is my double date sweater so far. I'll move all this yarn on the side. And then My last work in progress for this week is something that I don't think I've mentioned before, and it is also transitions nicely into my acquisition section because I got my yarn in the mail yesterday and I cast it on immediately after I got the yarn. So this is, let me show you the yarn first. Okay, so I did a thing and I bought more Boucle yarn from Sewrella. This is Sewrella Boucle yarn in the colorway Breckenridge. So it is a really nice gray neutral kind of color. And I am making the loop sweater also by Sewrella. It's on her website. And where's the... So I casted this on yesterday, and it's kind of just been the thing that I've been working on lately, or since yesterday pretty much. It's kind of squished on my needles right now, and also this blue yarn at the top is just a provisional cast on, so just ignore that for now. But it is a circular yoke sweater that the pattern was made to specifically use the Boucle yarn. And so that is exactly what I am doing. I am making the loop sweater with the Boucle yarn all by Sewrella. And I was and still am really excited to knit the sweater because so if you've watched one of my previous videos, I did buy the Sewrella Boucle yarn previously, and I bought it in, oh, I forget, I think the colorway is Sugar Mountain. It's more of a pink-purple color. And I bought it to use to make the Teddy Zip, the Teddy Zip jacket pattern. And so I'm still, honestly, I haven't touched it in a while. So that's why it hasn't been on kind of like the previous maybe 3 or 4 episodes, because I just haven't, I stopped working on it. I think it kind of hurt my hands. That's kind of when my hand situation started kind of coming up, and so I haven't touched it since then. But it is still, like, I'm still planning on finishing it eventually, but the Boucle yarn was just, I wanted something like a pattern using the, like, just the Boucle yarn, because that pattern I'm using the Boucle yarn held double with another, I think it's a DK weight yarn, and so the texture turned, like, I like the texture and how it like looks, but I definitely wanted something that was just plain Boucle yarn. And so when this sweater pattern came out by Sewrella, and since it was made to use specifically with her Boucle yarn, I thought this would be a great way to really kind of see this yarn just as it is, and you know, because it is single strand, just a Boucle yarn. And so I just wanted to see how that looks and turns out by itself. And so far I'm really enjoying it. I like the texture and how it looks. I will say it's really hard to count rows. So every time I finish a row, I have been actually keeping count of how many rows I've knitted, because it's a little hard to count the rows, but I kind of like that. Like, that is the reason why I wanted to use the Boucle yarn, is because I wanted a texture that looked really fuzzy and make it hard to see the stitches. And so I think that has been accomplished here. And it's surprisingly really light. And so it's one of those things where I'm like, again, pretty much with all my sweaters, like, I can't wait to finish this one because I want to see how it feels when I wear it, because right now it feels really light and airy, and so I wasn't sure if the Boucle yarn would be something that would be heavy and really like hot and warm to wear, but I feel like this is making it seem like it'll just be nice and fluffy and light and not be like really dense. So I am, again, just like, I'm going to keep working on this because I can't wait to see how it feels to actually wear it. Because even though I can like, obviously like touch it and feel it and kind of, do this, like I feel like things feel different when you're actually wearing it and wear it throughout like daily activities. So that's where I'm at with this sweater. Sorry, I dropped this. I wanted to pick it up. I think that what I want to do, I'm kind of on a roll with this right now, and so I'm really close to separating for the sleeves, and so I'll probably work on this weekend until I separate for sleeves, work on the body a little bit more, and maybe start the sleeves themselves. And I've realized that, so I will say, if you decide to get the pattern for this, it is very, what's the word? So I've noticed one mistake for I'm doing the extra small size. I've noticed one mistake in the increases, and so far, and that's the only mistake I've seen so far, but I think it's a bit, like if you're a very beginner knitter, that this pattern might be a little confusing because it kind of doesn't explain like fully everything. Like if you know, like if you've knitted a circular yoke sweater before, you'll be fine with this pattern. And I also read a little bit forward, and like I believe that their I-cord, like the finished like hem and the sleeves are going to be I-cord bind-offs, but I don't think, I tried to look for it and it says nothing about what to do for the top here, like for the neck, and I believe you'll just pick up the stitches because it's a provisional cast on. You'll just pick it up and do an I-cord bind-off as well, I think, but it doesn't say that in the pattern, so so it's, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I would just say if you're a really beginner knitter that this pattern might be a little confusing, but if you've knitted a sweater before, that you'll probably be fine. And yeah, so it's a fairly like, it's just a very simple sweater in that kind of sense. Not simple in terms of like maybe the instructions, because it kind of just assumes you know what you're doing, but simple in terms of like it is a circular yoke and then you just knit pretty much straight for the body, I believe. You pick up for sleeves, make the sleeves with some increases, and that's that. I think it's mainly to show off the Boucle yarn, which I think is really smart, and I am excited and happy to have this as a finished object hopefully soon. If I continue to work on this week, like I was looking at my other sweaters, my other works in progress, that this might be, I don't know, like will this be the next thing that I finish because I'm just obsessed with making it and just wanting to have a Boucle sweater? It might be because I've been wanting to have a Boucle knitted object and I just don't, like I have the yarn. If you've seen my other video podcasts about my teddy zip, there are so many things that happened with it. Like it wasn't like, it was just kind of hard to get like matching yarn for the Boucle yarn with the DK weight yarn, and it was like a whole thing, so it took me a while. And now my wrists got sore from making it. I don't know if it was just from that, but then I had to stop. So I think this will be my first Boucle project to be done, and so I just want to have it done so I can have a Boucle sweater. So that is me. I just want a Boucle sweater, and this seems to be the fastest way for me to get one. So anything else about this loop sweater? I think that's it for now. I do really like how this texture is feeling, by the way. So I'm looking forward to continuing to work on this. I kind of worry that I will need to buy another skein of this because I'm doing the size extra small and the pattern says that would take 3 skeins of this, but then I realized that the body length might be a bit cropped. So I might need to get a 4th skein to make the body longer if I need to. So for sure, what I will probably do is I will do the sleeves, knit both of the sleeves first before I continue working on the body, like once I get to that point, so that if I do need more, I can check to see how cropped it is before deciding if I need to buy a 4th skein. Okay, I think that is all I have for the loop sweater. And now for a short, or well, this could take a while. I was going to say a short acquisition section. So I did already show the Boucle yarn that I was just talking about that I got yesterday in the mail. And then I do want to share more of my Valentine's Day Advent mini skein yarns from Lavender Fiber Co. So last week, I believe I showed you days 1 through 4. And so now I can show you days 5 through 11. And I have been having like a lot of fun. Like it's been really fun to post on my Instagram stories every day of the yarn that, you know, is for the day. And so I hope you guys have also been enjoying that. If you do follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is @arieknits. And so yeah, so let me just show you days 5 through 11. Actually, I should probably, I still have them in the little boxes and in like the main big box that it came in, but I don't want to get these mixed up. So let me just line them up here. And it is almost Valentine's Day, so by the next podcast episode, all of them will have been opened. And let me just say that these colors, like I knew I was going to like them because they're very like pink themed, and of course pink is like my favorite color. But like every day, these keep getting better and just, they're so gorgeous. Okay. So let's start with day 5. So this is what day 5 looks like. And this one is, I would say it's variegated, right? So it does have those darker pinks in there with the really light peachy pinks, and also like hints of blue or purple. And then, so here, what I'll do is I'll show each of those, you know, days 5 through 11. How many? 4, 5, 7. Oh yeah, that makes sense because it's been a week since I showed these on an episode. So I'll show each of them individually, and at the end I'll hold all of them up. So this is day 5. Okay, and then day 6, we get, it turns into a lighter color. And this is still, I would say, it's just like, it is variegated, but it's so pastel. And this one's really pretty. I think this is, definitely leans more peachy, but also has those lighter pinks. Just ever so slightly like darker pinks than the main kind of peachy pink color. And then slowly fading more into lighter colors. So this is day 7. And I'm trying to, so there are still hints of the pink. Like you can see a little streak here. And the peachy pink kind of like right here. But it also in some lights kind of has more of like a blue-green kind of hint to it. And so that's day 7. Moving on to day 8, which we're still kind of in that same realm, just getting ever so slightly lighter and almost a little more of that green-blue kind of color like right here. It is so light and subtle that it's, I think it'll be really hard to capture on camera here. but it's really, really pretty. And I think Lavender Fiber Co. is like known for their gentle, like delicate pastel yarn colors, which are just so pretty. So these are really kind of showcasing that. Day 9 here is, again, we're in like that really light color realm, but this definitely is now starting to show up a bit. Like, I think we were getting lighter and now we're getting more color again. So it still has that bluey green base, but now we're bringing back more of those pinks are kind of showing up a little, just a little more now. And then day 10. Oh, this one is so pretty. Day 10, we're definitely starting to show more color again. So those pinks are showing up some more. I think less of the peachy pink, but more of just the baby pink, kind of like up here. And those blues are kind of showing a bit stronger now as well. There. And then 11, which was today. Oh, I feel like this might be one of my favorites. Like, all of them are so pretty, but I think this one might be my favorite so far. Okay. So this one has definitely more color now. This one brings back those peachy colors, like right here. You can see more of that peachy pink color. Those baby pinks are coming in stronger, as well as those greenish blue kind of color. I mean, every day I open it and I'm like, oh, I think this is my new favorite. So, I mean, and this is today's one, and I think this is my new favorite, but so we'll see. We have 3 more boxes, and I'm really excited to see those 3 more. I'm also sad because I've been really enjoying opening these every day. So you know that I will be looking for more advents for this year because this has been really fun to do. And I keep showing this because it's just, I really like this one. Okay, so let me try my best and hopefully not get these out of order. So, of all of the days so far, well, I really hope I don't get these out of order. Okay. Eee. Okay. Can I hold them all? Okay. In one hand? I'll need 2. Okay. Ooh, okay. Wait. Okay, so these are, should I, get my hair out of the way and show it like this? Is this even showing up? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, I wish I could get my hands out of the way so you can see more of the skeins. Okay, here, does that work? Okay, so it went from, this is day 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, my hair, don't fall in front of the camera. Oh, yeah, that looks so pretty. Oh my gosh. I eventually, so of course, so Lavender Fiber Co. has been posting the skeins as well and has them kind of all lined up, so you can definitely head over to her Instagram to see it all there. But I will hopefully at the end be posting a picture of all of my skeins as well. And her daughter, Maddie Made Crafts, I think is the name. I'm sorry if I kind of messed that up, but Maddie, she has an Instagram as well, and she is so talented. She is making a fade with all of the skeins, making a scarf, and every day she posts more progress on the scarf and with each of the day's skein, and it's so pretty and dreamy, and this fade and this whole color theme is just so gorgeous. So yeah, oh, it looks so good all together. This is the first time that I've seen all of these days together in a row like this, and it's so pretty. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me carefully put this back down, so again, so that I don't lose the order that they're in. Okay, and I'll repack those later, but that is kind of it for today's video. yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about and had to talk about. I am enjoying the whole knitting process lately. I know I keep bringing this up because it has been a thing that I've been dealing with, is that my wrists and my hands were kind of starting to feel the stress of how much knitting that I do, and I love knitting the amount that I do, but I've realized that I should probably take more breaks and kind of slow down a bit. I also think I started to get a lot more tense in my knitting, but this week I've knitted a bit more. Like, I kind of took, like, once my hands started hurting, I had to like stop knitting for a little bit. Like, I still knitted, but I really decreased the amount that I've knitted. This week I have kind of started bringing like knitting more, and maybe I shouldn't. Like, maybe I should, you know, keep being a bit careful, but you know, I just love knitting so much. I am making sure that I'm taking more breaks and doing more stretches, but this week has definitely been kind of a lot of knitting, and so far things have felt fine, and so that makes me really, really happy. And I have been trying to knit looser, so to hopefully help with any kind of like really tight tension things that might be causing some issues. And so knitting looser also has helped me feel a bit more relaxed also, and so I think that's been really helpful. And opening the Valentine's Advent has been so fun, and just like a really great way to start the day, because when I wake up in the morning and I get ready, like the next thing I do is open up my little cute box of the Advent yarn, and it's just been like that little like really good way to start the day. And so I am sad that it is almost over, but I'm going to have such pretty yarn to look at, and mini skeins I think are my new favorite thing, and so this is just going to, I think, gonna be a thing. Like, I want to get more Advents in the future. So yeah, so I don't know, I've been really, really happy and enjoying the things that I've been knitting on lately, and it's been making me, again, just really happy. And I'm really happy to also be able to share it here on the podcast. So with that, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are having a great day on whichever day that you are watching this. And as always, feel free to let me know in the comments down below what you are currently working on. I, again, love hearing what you all are working on and what yarn you're using, because it gives me lots of new ideas. And I love, love, love looking at new patterns, new designers, new yarn, and it's just so fun. And yeah, so again, I hope you're having a great day, and keep on knitting. Make sure you stretch out your hands and your wrists. Take some breaks if you need to, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!